Hi readers, it's Miss Sarah here again. Now last night I was really craving some Dan Dan, so I decided to treat myself and Coco to some takeout. When I got to the end of my meal, I dug in the bottom of the bag, reached out, and found a little fortune cookie at the very bottom. Have you ever tried a fortune cookie? When you crack them open, they have special messages inside, pieces of advice that you can use in your everyday life. Miss Sarah's message said, laugh long and laugh often. Today, I want to teach you that just like fortune cookies, our books have little lessons or pieces of advice that we can learn from our characters. So we're going to dive into Frog and Toad are friends and think, what have we learned so far from these two characters, Frog and Toad? Because we can certainly learn a lot from them. That lesson, that fortune cookie message that's in our stories is called the central message or the lesson. We need to think, what can we learn from Frog and Toad? We can figure out the central message or the lesson in our story by thinking about key details. These are things that the characters in our stories do or say. For example, if I think back to our story from Frog and Toad are friends, Spring, Frog was trying so hard to get Toad out of bed. He pulled off the covers. He even pushed him all the way out on the porch. And then finally, he had to change his calendar to make it say May. So one detail is on the third try, Frog successfully gets Toad out of bed to enjoy spring. Our lesson, what we learn from our characters, could be to never give up, because the first time when Toad says, go away, Frog doesn't just leave. Frog tries and tries again. Another message could be persistent, because Frog really wants to be there for his friend. If we think back to another story we read in Frog and Toad are friends, we can think about some of the key details from the story, The Lost Button. In that story, if you remember, Toad can't find his button, and all of these different animals and Frog keep trying to help him. They keep finding all these different buttons, but they're either too big or they have too many holes in them. None of them are his buttons, and Toad ends up getting so frustrated, he keeps yelling at his friend Frog. At the very end, he finds his button on the floor and realizes what a bad friend he's been to Frog. All Frog wanted to do was help him out, and Toad was acting so mean to him. So at the very end of the story, after Toad finds his button, he makes Frog a jacket, and he says, I'm sorry for treating you badly. He makes the jacket with all of the loose buttons that he found. So we could use that detail and find a lesson from that story. And one lesson could be, we should treat others how you wish to be treated. If you are treating people unkindly, they might be unkind in return. So it's much better to be nice to them. Another lesson that we could pull out of the story, The Lost Button, is when friends offer to help you, show them kindness in return. So friends, I hope that you've done some hard thinking about what we can learn from our characters. Now it's your turn. I want you to open up some of your books and think, what are the lessons, those fortune cookie messages that you can learn from some of the characters in your stories? Happy reading. I'll see you again soon.